The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, everybody, to an excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what's shaking today? Well, the S&P's up another 7 points. Just can't stop it. Dow's kind of flat. Nasdaq's up 50. Russell's up 4. And what else do you have? Crude oil's up 84 cents. Gold, 13.37 is the last tick I show. And silver's off 4 cents, kind of hanging out there. But still around. And, of course, got a lot of other stuff going. The market was looked like maybe it might have a little weakness today. Almost always you see after options rollover, if the Monday's up, the Tuesday's down. That we're having a Tuesday up is a little bit more about what I talked about yesterday, and that is a lot of discussions about what the next page is on the Trump agenda. There are some documents that leaked. We were talking about them in the Tiger's Den during the Basel show. But the thought about what they were going to actually do for infrastructure spending, it has leaked. You can kind of read the broad outlines. No dollar signs yet or dollar amounts, so we don't know what's going on in there. But it continues to be pretty bright. You got to wear shades. It's so bright, you got to wear shades. Oh, the future's so bright. You got to wear shades. Anyway, can't remember. That's got to be like a 1980s song, I bet. Can't remember. But things going pretty good. People from Davos, rather amazed. Didn't listen to much today, but saw a few people going, well, you know what? A lot of these people over here are saying that they're going to invest in the U.S. now. So we may have a much bigger investment coming this way than other people think. I'll wait until we see the whites of their eyes. But journalists shocked that people would actually invest in the United States this morning on some of the early morning TV shows from Davos. Of course, we got our president en route to the swamp, if he's not already there, to talk it up. We've got other things going on. Not only were we done less than a day when Mr. Schumer, Senator Schumer, says that he's ready to shut the government down again somewhere around the 8th. And not exactly sure what's going on there. But it looks like it lasted all of a day. He got a rough time from the extreme wing of his party, and now he's ready to go to the mattresses, like they said in the Godfather movie. You got to go to the mattresses every once in a while, let the blood out there flow. But apparently they're going to repackage their message and try it yet again around the 8th of February. So we'll see what goes on with that. But I don't know if he's just trying to placate those folks or if he truly means it. But keep an eye on that date. I think we've got a little time between now and then, and maybe tempers will fade. But look pretty hot today. Got a lot of earnings coming through. We talked about those yesterday. We'll talk about a little bit more. We'll talk about some stocks that kind of interesting action in them today. They couldn't hold higher price. And this is one that's very interesting, but got hit by news yesterday. So we'll talk about that. A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of news. Man, I wish I could just do a show all about the FBI today. This is getting to be more interested than the Watergate break-in. But I won't have time for that today. Got other things going on. Lots of neat stuff happening, and we'll just keep moving on out here. In the meantime, it's all about history repeating.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Yep. What do we have going on today? Well, there was something. We're going to play this.
You can skip a Frisbee, curve a Frisbee, even boomerang it. How about that? Frisbee combines the principles of aerodynamics and gyroscopics. So, go fly a Frisbee. It's fun for everyone of the family. Yes, everyone. Frisbee!
Well, on this day in 1957, Wham-O Toys bought a device called a Frisbee, rolled out the first batch of their aerodynamic plastic discs, now known to millions of fans all over the world. In 1948, Walter Morrison and his partner, Warren, invented a plastic version of the disc called the Flying Saucer that would fly further and more accurately than the tin pie plates. The one in 1957 had some small modifications to it, and actually the one that we know today became a icon in 1967 with a patent of ridges around it that made it far more stable. They sold by 1980, it sold over 100 million of them. And of course, Super Balls, Water Wiggles, company helped my youth out quite a bit. But one of those products out there that did well and made some toy companies very happy. Incidentally, people think that it's kind of a 50s thing. The roots of the Frisbee go back into the late 1880s or 90s at a college, where it was very popular to play the game with tins for pies they copped out of the commissary for lunches there at the college. And it actually went on for 40 or 50 years at that college. The guy that actually designed it got out of that college, decided that he wanted to make a toy out of it. I think it's that Morrison guy in 1948. And it kind of grew from there, but sold the product with royalties, I think in 1955 or 6 to Wham-O's, and it became a huge and amazing product. Anyway, that's about it, other than some other stuff kind of hanging out in the weeds. I want to get to charts here fairly quickly. And the one that has kind of always amazed me was First Solar. This thing has been going up and up and up on iterated short squeezes. But what a little candle out here today. After getting a giant boost. Oh, we're going to break here. We'll talk more about this, but got a big break last night. Gave it all back today. FSLR. We'll talk about this when we come back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Thinkorswim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
I'm doing all right, getting good grades. The future's so bright. I gotta wear shades.
So who sang that? I'm going to say that's like a 1985 song. It's got to be, because the world was just on fire. Timbuk3, yeah, that's who it was. So I'll look that up during the next break. But I'm thinking that was like a mid, just the sounds and everything, you can kind of put where a song came in. Anyway, we're talking about First Solar when we left. First Solar, of course, got a tariff that had been working its way through the government for about 5 years. President Trump fast-tracked it, and one that had been slow-tracked, actually letting the washer and dryer companies go out of business here in the United States for 10 years, while they slow-walked tariffs against South Korea and Samsung, who have been aggressively trying to put U.S. manufacturers of washers and dryers out of business. But no one really cared. He came to the rescue last night for both solar and washers and dryers. But the business in First Solar has been weird, to say the least. The stock price is probably at least 2 or 3 times what it should be based on any kind of economics, either today or going forward. But it's always been one of these things. Everybody wants to push solar. Technically, there are some real problems with it, and probably one of the biggest ones is it's just hard to understand any kind of photon-driven device being more than about 30% efficient. And then, of course, a lot of other dubious claims. In fact, people on YouTube have been making quite a bit of fun out of solar roadways the last couple of months this winter, when literally none of the claims for the solar roadways came true. In fact, the only thing working in the solar roadway now here in the United States is the computer that runs the thing hooked up to the regular AC wall socket. So what can you say? It continues to be a problem where their product costs 4 times as much as natural gas made electricity. So what do you do when you're 4 times more expensive? Well, you have to continue going to the government to get subsidies, get your neighbor to pay for it. I don't have anything against solar other than the fact that they keep pushing out a product that's future is always tomorrow. And the incremental increases in technology are not much because they're putting all the money into subsidies, not in improving the product. I wouldn't have had any kind of argument if they would have taken all this money and given it to DARPA to make a great solar cell that would have been commercially viable. But it continues to be a kind of a virtue signaling kind of product. But kind of just out here, if you want some proof in the pudding, the giant reversal on this thing after what should be a huge pop. Maybe it's just sell the news. You never know. Okay, what else do we have? So that's one of them. Adobe had earnings out after the bell. ADBE. This is why, I mean, there's a handful of stocks that are going to be higher. We'll talk about Netflix in a second. But, you know, really is the risk, one of these things whiffing, worth the reward? I mean, if you're long for a while in these stocks, maybe. But there's just, I mean, these things are pretty much priced for perfection. You might get a little bit to the upside and a whole lot to the downside. So I don't understand holding a lot of these stocks through earnings. If these things have been beaten down, I'd see much more risk reward. But at 52-week highs, making new 52-week highs every day, it's hard to see that there's going to be a lot more left in the tank. A lot of people, as I said, Netflix was going to probably have yet a much bigger move if there was going to be any after the bell last night, and it popped up fairly strongly. Do I actually have that here? Nope, do not have it. So nice pop out here. This kind of looks extended, but again, far too many people going short that thing into earnings. This thing was either going to be a huge winner or a huge loser. So maybe if you had the right options, $22 was enough. But normally on options, I don't even bother looking if I'm not looking for more than a 10% move. And this is just under a 10% move. Although it did get to 257.71, that did not last today. One of the few that is kind of holding on to some of its higher price, but not all of it, is also Whirlpool. We talked about that, and mostly I think a lot of people last night thought it was the Chinese manufacturing of washing machines, but it was mostly Samsung conglomerates that this was going after. This came back into this huge gap down back about 10 million shares on the 24th of October. Volume pretty light so far, about 1.6 million shares. So even though they're going to get some fairly stiff tariffs, this thing is not really kind of coming off the bottom as you would once think. This may also be somewhat politically motivated to push for the upcoming elections in Michigan, which I think is where Whirlpool has up to 50,000 employees. What else do we have out here? We talked last week or a week and a half ago about the only sector that looked like it was breaking down. What you wanted to see is this thing pop back into the trading range. If it wasn't, and the REITs have. They have bottomed. The volume is a little bit too much, but certainly these things were getting pounded. But back into the trading range here again today. So the only sector that really looked poor out here had made any kind of signal of breaking is back in the trading range. So will this thing just kind of hover down at the lows as long as the market keeps going higher? It could. Still looks like the weakest of all the sectors that I look at, but kind of tough to look at. out here thinking that this is going to get a whole lot better. Maybe just too many people on the short side of this. One of the Gartley patterns that was showing up. Let me redo this here. Was right on the edge was the socks, and it went just enough out here to really kind of negate a Gartley pattern, but it's the SOXS, the 3X bear, went a little bit farther than it should, and a Gartley pattern, a little short-term Gartley pattern out here. Maybe we can pick it up another way. That's not it. Yeah, it kind of went away. A little bit too far out there, but then down a little, not a lot of volume out here today, though. So I'm watching for this because that, if there's a sector that is tired, it is certainly the stocks, even though we continue to see very strong movements in some stocks like NVIDIA. What is that at? NVIDIA up another 1.6%, 237.50's last tick. We'll talk about this and why NVIDIA continues to do well, as we talked about in the Tech Insider about a month ago, about their new product.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, we're up on 5 points on the S&P cash, but always kind of a quiet part of the day, which is a good time to do the show. I had several emails out here, so we will get that out. First one is, we'll finish up with NVIDIA and then get to this one. Don't know who it is or where they're from, though. Okay, so Mr. NVIDIA out here is completing an ABC, looks like on the way up. Energy's okay out here. Out in this kind of December timeframe, I wrote in the Tech Insider that NVIDIA had a brand new board that was like buying 10 of their old ones. Literally, they made one that was 10 times faster, a better chip. And that eventually, I was kind of thinking that these guys would sell off. There'd be some competition. There was none of that. Not only was there no competition, NVIDIA went and slammed their face in it by coming up with this new rock and roll chip. This board is $3,000, and apparently they're selling every single one they can. And I figured that was probably what we should have seen when it came out. And at $3,000, it doesn't take a lot to, one, make a lot of money in revenues, and two, if you're making chips, it's almost a license to make money. You're probably 50, 60, 70% margins on the thing. This thing is probably got to go up. I still think that these guys are going to hit competition when they do. This thing could go in half. It's just that no extensive competition has come out of the woodwork yet to go after the dominance of NVIDIA. Intel has shown some of its products. They haven't released them. A handful of other companies, Amazon and Google, both have made their own, but it looks to me like they're continuing to buy NVIDIA products as NVIDIA steams down the rails, and no one else is even really trying that hard. But we shall see. But nice little pop-up here for NVIDIA today. And again, when you own a monopoly, it's very tough to short it. So what else do we have out here? Got a few other ads. Okay, got a question about CAMT. So let's take a look at it, or CMAT. What is CMAT? Does that actually show up? I don't think so. I wonder if this gentleman was wanting CAMT and just typed it incorrectly. Camtech. Now, maybe you can re-email me and let me know, but I don't have a CAMT in my feed. Huh. Curiouser and curiouser. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking at some of these other stocks. Yesterday, it looked like Microsoft was going to go to 100, so let's go take a look at that one and see if it's continuing on its upward journey. Up here, you got a little bit of a doji coming, a little bit lighter volume at 90-230. But yeah, I don't see anything that changes that kind of shows this market kind of going maybe a little sideways here for a few days and then taking off into fun buying again. From just looks like a lot of these things are coming back the way that they were. Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at some other ones here. We looked at Netflix. Let's go ahead and look at Amazon. And yet another day higher for Amazon. No sign of the break. Volume's probably going to be a little bit better than it was yesterday. And you did have a day where you kind of reversed with 7 million shares, but just doesn't mean much. Kind of surprised that we continue to see kind of a little pop out here. Still thinking we get maybe a down day between now and Friday, and that'll be the time to go after the rest. So this is Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix. Apple is talking about its next iPhone. But not only that, they're talking about their home pod. I guess, is that what they're calling it? The iPhone, the iPod? Home pod? I think it's the home pod. Isn't that what it is? They got so many pods now, it's hard to keep them all straight. The new pod, home pod, okay, I'm haven't lost my mind totally yet. The home pod will go on sale early in February. They haven't said much about it. Kind kind of interesting that most people do not know that Amazon's Alexa is powered by Microsoft's voice technology. And it seems like begrudgingly, if you get into an article deep enough, the writers in Silicon Valley will say that it is Microsoft's technology driving Amazon. Their Cortana product is really what's driving Amazon's voice-activated devices, and that deal has never really come close. Siri will be driving the Apple Pod home device, but the kind of a soft launch as the product wasn't ready to go for Christmas. There was a lot of discussion about that, but look for the push on this. I think it's the 7th. Let's take a look. It's the 7th, a Tuesday, because they always want to do stuff on Tuesday. What is that going to be? February. It's Wednesday. So, yeah, I guess they can do stuff on a Wednesday. They almost always like to do stuff on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Same reason why all the movies on DVDs used to come out on Tuesday. They could get a couple of days in before the weekend, before everything went. They could get it all taken care of. Anyway, you can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den. I've got a couple people wanting me to look at the GLD. And I think that there's kind of a problem when you get too much focused on a single sector and you just can't take a breath. Gold looks fine. Nothing has changed. This thing's just kind of consolidating a nice little move out here before it gets into this gap from 9/11 in September of last year. This gap down with 9 million shares. You've got some fairly decent volume out here on the right. My guess is that this thing is just going to gap back up to 128.32 on the GLD. And is it going to be today, tomorrow? Is it going to be Friday? Going to be Monday? I don't really feel like this is weak. Just looks to me like gold is consolidating and trying to bore people out of it on the next move higher. So, man, nothing happened other than it hitting resistance. My guess is it will at least test 128.32, and at that point, you can decide whether or not you want to sell your gold. At this point, just sitting on it is going to get the weak hands out of it, so it's ready to go for the next move up. I suspect that gold is in a 1 year or longer move, and I'm not going to be trading in or out of it. So my comments are me sitting on my hand with my gold positions to keep me warm at night. See what else we have out here. Okay. Well, that's it for this little break here. We'll be back. We've got a lot more stocks to look at. And got a couple more emails coming in here. So we'll go through those. But give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
One of the sectors out here, like we said, a couple of these things look like they could break. Had some decent volume out here at the lows, but are popping back into the trading range. The XLU is one of those. The July 11th low at $50.24 has been broken over the last handful of days, but popping back into the range today. And that may tell you that at least some people are thinking, yeah, we might have found some kind of temporary low in the utilities. Of course, the disasters and fires in California continue to weigh on this sector fairly heavily. And I don't know, until you get rid of some of these out of the ETF, I don't know how you can play this without always having to have at least some problematic issues with these guys. So, that's kind of it. As we said in the den a few seconds ago, the market weather is going to be light and variable through the next round of earnings, which starts promptly today at 4 o'clock. Had one of our guys yesterday ask me, did I actually say that? Ask me about Texas Instruments. I said, well, for me, I didn't see the risk reward for $2 up and possibly $10 down yesterday. And I think that's kind of it. You went to a little higher out here. They're coming out after the bell. Probably the best thing for these guys is that some of their old property is being sold to Apple down there in Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth area. So these guys may be getting rid of some property that they haven't been able to sell for a while, but not much going on there. They come out right at the close at 4 o'clock, so they may affect if you had a big move, might affect futures. Right at 4:15, we've got United out here, and it's just kind of going sideways. Nice bounce. This is another company that stock price has come right into this gap down on July 19th. That came down at 15.5 million shares. You only got into it with, best was about 9 million shares. Is that right? 6.9? 7 million shares back on the 11th. And so you had some juice, wasn't enough juice, and you're sitting right here at resistance. that is that gap down of last year's July 19th gap down. So not much to yell and scream about that one. A lot of these stocks, just like First Solar, some of these other ones that had pops that rolled over, these things are, a lot of them are right at gaps where people are just praising God that they got their cash back, and there's not a lot to say in that. We've got a lot of smaller companies. We looked at Cree yesterday. I don't think there's anything new in that one, but we'll take a look. And, you know, a company that had done fairly well at kind of repurposing what they're doing. They're after the bell tonight, trading a little lower back at this $34 level. I've never really thought that that was going to be a huge winner, but they were going to do okay. And that's it kind of for tonight. Tomorrow morning, we've got General Electric. We already know what kind of storm they're in. And I will say it is a fecal storm. Abbott Laboratories also in the morning, ABT. Notoriously hard to figure out these biotechs and what these things are going to do. A lot more about what they say the future is than the actual earnings, although this one may be strained for earnings. If I was betting for one to go a little lower, this one would be about $57 in the morning, although they may be, but this thing kind of looks very labored back into these. We talked about Royal Caribbean yesterday. UTX also in the morning. This thing going for a double top at 137.73. That was from January 16th. And you're just kind of hanging out here, 173.73. Could go a little higher out here. You got three minor gaps down below to 123. My guess is this is probably not going to have a lot of a lot of range like other ones. Looks like you could see 132 on it or 138 in the morning, depending on what they say. More trains in the morning. NSC. This will probably give us a little bit more going on. Okay. Norfolk Southern. This one's just kind of come down today. It's kind of hanging out here. I don't see a lot in this. Last real big juice came in this thing back on the 29th of November. I think some of the others kind of were a little weak. Maybe they started this kind of move down. You know, if you were along this thing, I probably have been out of it back up when this thing went through 155. And you got to look for the risk down to about 142 on this one on earnings tomorrow morning, unless there's some other big issues. When we get to tomorrow night, we've got Lamb Research, United Rentals, and Las Vegas Sands. Let's take a look at LVS. See if we're getting any kind of signal on this one the day before earnings. Just a nice little fat doji out here. What you don't want is see this thing gap down and then have bad earnings. We talked about Xilinx and did the chart on it yesterday. Nova Gold after tomorrow evening. And although I don't think earnings matters that much to most of these gold stocks. See what else we have. A bunch of also ran. There are a bunch of stocks reporting, just not a lot of big stocks. Of course, Thursday morning we get into the Caterpillar and take a look. This thing, you know, it and Boeing just can't quit going higher. Man, doesn't look like there's a lot to the upside or downside either one in Caterpillar. They'd have to say something fairly horrible. JetBlue, BLU. Take a quick look at this one. Okay. And what do we have? You know, these things all look like they're just up against the resistance when these things started moving down back there in July of last year. And this one was a little stronger than many. You had some good juice off this January 9th low, but it does look like you're up against a lot of long-term resistance. Looking for this one to be 25s or 21s, I would say, coming in around there. To see. Also have Freeport McMoran on earnings Thursday morning. Let's take a quick look at that. Man, these things, you know, you've had a good run. I don't see where there's a lot of upside in these stocks. I'd probably be out waiting for after earnings. If I missed a buck higher on this thing, I wouldn't worry about it. My guess are these, especially these metal stocks, are not bouncing $5 tomorrow, 25%. They're going to move 2, 3, 4%, but have, 10, 15% to the downside. We'll be back after this. Wrap.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Achievers rise above the rest, and when they see an opportunity, they take action. Massive action. Achievers capitalize on every resource in order to experience success at its absolute max. And on Wednesday, January 31st, from 5 to 6 p.m., I'll share with subscribers of Mastering Probability how to achieve even more success with the extraordinary tools that I use to call the markets. These tools predicted the Ebola 2015 stock market bottom, the December 2017 gold bottom, and why subscribers added to their mining positions this month as well. Learn the pattern that projects the Dow's next upside target of 30,740. Folks, great moments were born from great opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity to take advantage of my 30-day money-back guarantee for Mastering Probability. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up today and reserve your spot for the ultimate subscriber event.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And Intel back into this gap down, and you've got some nice bottoms out here at mid 42s. This thing's back up into this gap. Not a lot of juice, but of course earnings out after the bell on Thursday night. We also have a few more psycho stocks out here. I don't see a lot of bad things happening in Intel, and with Microsoft doing as well, it continues to be problematic. I think that there are a bunch of people that are mad at the technology companies and there may be some kind of political bias in it that these guys aren't all jumping off a cliff to follow the political, what would you say, the political feelings of Silicon Valley as of late, especially since the tax plan came out. And they've decidedly turned extremely negative on everything from Apple to Intel to anybody not following, I suspect, what they want. And like I said, I didn't think that this whole thing with the new issues with the chip were ever going to amount to a whole lot. I thought they were going to be a lot more like this. They keep pounding on it every day in the media, and eventually some of these things kind of work. The question is whether or not it affected their earnings. If it doesn't affect their earnings, then I have a feeling that you might see this actually break past $47 on any kind of decent earnings call that they have on Thursday night because of the extreme pessimism and almost, I'm going to say, downright hatred from the Silicon Valley tech press as of late. I'm going to say the last 20 days, maybe even 30 days, from many of the tech companies has just been horrifically savage in the way that they've treated them when they've let them off for far more egregious issues in the past. So there's been a tone change in the press coverage of these tech companies. We're going to see what happens Thursday night after the bell. Intel and others, including Intuitive Surgical, the great Psychos. In the meantime, so when you can, not when you have to, we will see you tomorrow. Same bat panel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.